You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Thursday the 2nd of April, 2026. It is 13 days after the spring equinox. It is 80 days before the summer solstice. The festival of Passover continues today. By the Western Christian calendar, today is Holy Thursday, also known as Maundy Thursday. Today is the 34th day of the American and Israeli war against Iran and Lebanon. The sun rises today at 6:38 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:59 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:22 p.m., civil twilight ends at 7:49 p.m., and nautical twilight ends at 8:22 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes 41 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waning gibbous phase and is 99% full at midday. The moon sets today at 6:35 a.m., and then it rises at 8:18 p.m. The third quarter will arrive on Friday, the 10th of April. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the early morning, low tide, 5:11 a.m., 3 centimeters. In the late morning, high tide, 11:31 a.m., 1 meter 49. In the evening, low tide, 5:13 p.m., 9 centimeters. At night, high tide, 11:37 p.m., 1 meter 68. In our shared realm of plants and animals, the Callery pears have burst into bloom, spangled with small white flowers. It's nice that they are often planted in groups on our streets, making for a fine display. There's a particularly fine row of them on Broadway near Crescent Street. Many more cherry trees are also beginning to bloom. This is such a strong marker of the turn to full-blown spring, and the flowering and leafing out of the trees around us will soon begin to cascade. Commemorations. On this day in 1845, the sun was photographed for the very first time. Photography was in its infancy, and the French physicists Louis Fizeau and Léon Foucault devised a way to use the new daguerreotype process to take the shot. Their camera was mounted on a small telescope. The exposure lasted just 1/60th of a second and produced an image about 12 centimeters in diameter. Not only did it show several sunspots, but it also faintly showed the texture of the surface of our star. On this day in 1931, Jackie Mitchell, a 17-year-old girl from Memphis, Tennessee, took to the pitching mound and struck out both Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. It was an exhibition game between the Yankees and the Chattanooga Lookouts, a team from the Southern Association, a minor regional league. The young Mitchell was quite an athlete, playing in multiple sports, and she had learned to pitch from her neighbor, Dazzy Vance, a Hall of Fame pitcher. There was great media hype around the event, and the young girl striking out two of the greatest sluggers of the time made headlines. Some have said Ruth and Gehrig struck out on purpose, but Mitchell said in a 1987 interview, "Why, hell, they were trying, damn right. Hell, better hitters than them couldn't hit me. Why should they've been any different?" 1 year ago today, the president announced what he called Liberation Day, beginning his unilateral imposition of tariffs on countries across the world. On this anniversary, perhaps we can take measure of the effects on our economy and ask ourselves by what right does the executive have sole authority to impose tariffs at personal whim. Today we remember Alec Guinness, born this day in 1914. The English actor made his mark in the Ealing film comedies of the late 40s and early 50s, such as Kind Hearts and Coronets, The Lavender Hill Mob, and The Lady Killers. Then he played major roles in the epic films The Bridge on the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia, and Dr. Zhivago. Of course, he also played Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. Once he was approached for an autograph by a 12-year-old fan who had seen Star Wars over 100 times. Guinness said, "I would love you to do something for me." The boy said, "Anything, anything." "You won't like what I'm going to ask you to do." "Anything, sir, anything." "Well, Do you think you could promise never to see Star Wars again? Remember Alec Guinness today. Today is International Children's Book Day. It is observed on Hans Christian Andersen's birthday. Let us celebrate the importance of children's literature today. What children's book in your youth taught you a lesson, or made you see things in a new way, or simply delighted you? Alternate side of the street parking is suspended today in New York City for both Passover and Maundy Thursday. And that is the Observatory, Thursday the 2nd of April, 2026.